Hi, I am a big fan of your YouTube videos, and I have a story to tell. Please keep in mind that I want to stay anonymous since I don't like to be in the spotlight, if you know what I mean. I can tell you that I am a female from Norway. Sorry if my English is a little odd, but I hope you understand my writing. I also hope you like my story, and please let me know what you think about it. This story happened when I was 14 years old. I went on a camping trip with my 9th grade class plus 2 teachers to a lake. On the day of the camping trip, we rode our bikes from our school to the area. Later on, we were going to canoe down the river to our campsite. There were 2 people in each boat, and I was paddling with one of my classmates. She was nice and all, but we weren't exactly close friends. To give you a picture of our campsite, imagine being surrounded by trees in a thick forest. You can also see a tiny island in the middle of the lake from the shore. When you walk over a bridge, crossing a tiny river, there is a cottage nearby, where I assume someone lived. At least, that's what my teachers told me. We were all going to put our stuff in our tents and prepare everything with our tent buddies. The tents had already been set up by the other 9th grade class, since they had been camping at the same spot earlier. I was sharing a tent with one of my best friends, plus 2 other girls. Later on, we were going to start up a fire, eat lunch, and do whatever we wanted afterwards. Some were canoeing, and others went exploring in the woods. Me and my best friend went canoeing for some time and explored the area. Later on, we hung out by our tent to relax for a bit before dinner. After we ate dinner, we played some games with our teachers, and then we discussed the rumors about the dog as we sat around the fire. There were rumors about a 3-legged stray dog who was walking around the area. Some people admitted that they had seen it, but not everyone believed it. I wasn't sure myself if the rumors were true or not. Well, I kind of believed in ghosts and things like that during that time, but I still wasn't 100% sure. Not before that night. The rumors said that the stray dog belonged to a hunter who went missing some time ago. No one found his body, and it's been said that his dog was still looking for him. No one knows what really happened to the hunter, or if he was still alive. Yet, some of us got more scared as it got darker outside. This was in September, so it got darker a little earlier than in the summer. Sometime after talking about the dog, we heard a splash in the water. It was dark already, so we couldn't really see much. Everyone started screaming, and someone wanted to run. One of my classmates thought that it would be funny to prank us by throwing a stone in the water, just to make us think that the hunter was coming up from his watery grave or something. My heart was beating like crazy. That was not a funny joke in my opinion. After we started to calm down, we continued to play games around the bonfire. Later that night, before going into our tents to sleep, our teachers ordered us to stay inside our tents. No one was allowed to leave their tents and explore in the dark. After saying goodnight to our teachers, we remained outside our tents for some time before going to bed. Of course, some of us were still a bit shaken up from that rock in the water trick. Later on, we called it a night, and everyone went to sleep in their tents. I had a little conversation with my friend before we went to sleep. During the night, I could hear a dog sniffing around outside our tent. I got a little scared because the dog sounded pretty real to me. Now I knew that the dog was no myth. I moved a little closer to the pole in the middle of the tent since I was scared that the dog was going to touch me from outside while I was under the covers or something. Keep in mind that our tent was big and looked like a teepee similar to what the Native Americans lived in. It had a long pole inside in the middle of the tent that held the tent up. Still, what happened next was even more terrifying than the sniffing sounds from the dog. After a little while, I tried to sleep again. It wasn't easy. I'd been asleep for some time when I woke up to something, or someone, touching my head. I got startled and sat up to see what touched me. I spun around for a few seconds to see what it was, but nothing was there. I don't know why, but not long after, I looked at the other side of the tent. What I saw made my heart stop. There was a shadowy figure outside our tent. It was a male with a fishing hat on. He didn't even move. He stood completely still like a statue. One thing that you should know is that we had one male teacher with us on the trip, but I'm sure he wasn't wearing fisherman clothes. I froze. My friend woke up too, not long after I saw the figure. She had the same reaction as me, sitting there, frozen on the spot. I don't know how, but me and my friend tried to go to sleep despite seeing the shadowy figure. I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. I pretty much waited for the sun to rise while I was laying in my sleeping bag. The next morning, I went outside our tent to see if there was a bush or something that would make a human shadow of a fisherman. But when I came to the spot, I saw it. There was only a little bit of a mountain that made a wall, and the height was up to my shoulders. There was no bush, no sticks, or anything. Only the rope that held the tent up. I got even more confused. How could it have been bright enough to see a shadow in the middle of the night if it was just a mountain wall there? No one was supposed to leave the tent during the night either, and no one could stand there like a statue without moving a muscle. Nothing made any sense about the situation. Did I see the ghost of the hunter that went missing some time ago? Maybe the rumors were true. I didn't tell anyone about the incident, not my teachers or my classmates. I only spoke about it to my friend, who'd also witnessed it a couple days later. The others would probably make fun of me or think that I just made it up if I told them. I don't know if my friend thought it was a dream or something, but she didn't seem too startled when I spoke to her about it after we came back from the trip. I can tell you that I am sure I was fully awake that night. I am 21 years old now, but I still remember that incident clearly. Sometimes I still think about what would have happened if I went outside the tent that night.